become more relevant for the purpose for which they are constituted.
The workshop is to provide an interface between young people and their local representatives, such that general issues of development and responsibilities at the local levels can be discussed, understood, and enhanced well. The phenomenon of decentralization, as propagated by the government of the Gambia, is to encourage a bottom-up approach to development. The youth, who constitute over 60% of our population, naturally become a needed constituency in order to cement any progressive development initiative.
The move is inspired by the growing recognition by the government of the importance of the role of youth in promoting local governance and strengthening the decentralization process in the Gambia. This recognition, as reflected in the Local Government Act 2002, provides for formal representation of youth in the local government.
I am confident that this training workshop will achieve its golden objectives, which is to prepare our youth to become effective participants in the dynamics of local governance in the country. Furthermore, it will encourage and build on the massive youth involvement in the last presidential elections so that youth can remain more active in the political arena of the country in a positive light.
For Sehu Sanyan, the Permanent Secretary, Local Government and Land, the forum is important, arguing it comes at a time the level of citizen participation in the affairs of the local government authority remains low, coupled with the minimal impact of councillors on development. These reasons and others, he said, prompted the hiring of specialists to dilate on the subject matter. They included Honorable Elvis Afri Ankra, the Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development of Ghana, and Dr. Munawa Alam from the Commonwealth Secretariat, an institution that bankrolled the capacity building initiative.
The innocent child, the future, lies within the bosom of that child. And that is why Dr. Agri said if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a whole society. I can say that if you educate an adult, you educate the current generation. If you educate and empower the youth, you educate the current and the next generation.
We appreciate that the government of Gambia, in pursuance of the Constitution and in line with international trend, has made decentralization a priority in its development strategy.
Participants in this capacity building forum include youth representatives from local government authorities, ward development committees, village development committees, and members of selected youth organizations and associations within the country. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
We'll take our first break. Stay tuned.
Memu fana ila chief petrol bi gamtel staff association mamantale koteke ila sangosang independent weekend grand gala dinner dance and show ñinang ining tele ngara balle bakela ali reminder and the group set sima pap trumpet ndole tal tele ba kuyata and kumare ban and tele kotengol abebe tatla aljumo 17 February grand gala dinner Senegal Beach Hotel corporate table sotale dundan ticketol $1,000 simito February 18th mega dance lu balekalo independent stadium pakao ticketol $1 Kemenani Dimaso 19 February live show VIP $400 ordinary tickets $250 nko gamtel ning gamsel la lumbu ko doya abe pour que magor ke operation save a baby the president's empowerment of girls education Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital gamtel staff endowment fund woto e fempen dundije ase banko makui nemmen lafta corporate table wara nyinin karo adim bunjulo 9986 414 9986 188 9971124 9966 461 officially sponsored by Gamtel and Gamcel.
Welcome back. Calls for the Senegalese president's resignation are growing louder, but Abdoulaye Wade says he will not budge. The 85-year-old president was speaking after what he calls an unplanned tour of the capital, Dakar, during which thousands came out to show their support. Wade, as we hear in this report, is looking forward to nothing short of victory.
President Wade made a tour of the capital, Dakar, Wednesday afternoon. President Wade is wooing voters ahead of the February 26 presidential election. Thousands of people, some of them simply curious, others supporters of the president, lined the streets. President Wade stood as he greeted the crowds and stopped from time to time to shake hands and speak to the press.
Everyone has come out. There is no problem. There are lots of people, even though this tour wasn't planned in advance. People have turned up spontaneously, and this shows that the people are behind me. It's me they prefer.
Abdoulaye Wade makes it clear he has no doubts that he will be re-elected, despite a great deal of controversy about his bid for a third term in office. He says he has no intention of retiring.
No, I'm not retiring tomorrow. You'll see, they'll have to bury me first. Maybe I will be visiting their graves to pray for them.
85-year-old Abdoulaye Wade has spent the past 12 years in power. He has dismissed criticisms and calls to hand over to a younger generation. Tuesday, Senegal summoned the US ambassador following US criticism of President Abdoulaye Wade's third bid for election.
Rick Santorum has taken Republicans by surprise after winning races in the states of Colorado, Minnesota and Missouri, knocking out Republican favorite Mitt Romney. And Argentina is to formally file a complaint to the United Nations over Great Britain's alleged militarization of the South Atlantic. We have details of these and other stories in this news roundup.
Rick Santorum took Republicans by surprise on Tuesday. The dark horse in the U.S. Republican primaries won the nomination in 3 states, Colorado, Minnesota, and Missouri, knocking out Republican favorite Mitt Romney. The man who calls himself the only true conservative won the backing of the state's evangelical Christian and Tea Party supporters, many of whom are uneasy with Mr. Romney's Mormon faith. The third man on the ballot, Newt Gingrich, hardly campaigned in these states. His name did not even appear on the Missouri ballot.
All of you to be with us.
Greek coalition parties are meeting this week to seal an agreement on austerity measures to secure a new 130 billion euro bailout from the European Union and International Monetary Fund. Prime Minister Lucas Papandreou finalized the deal on Tuesday. Under the new measures, the government will cut 15,000 jobs, trim public spending, and reduce salaries. The new austerity measures sparked another round of protests on Tuesday. A deputy of the Socialist Party created a furor on Tuesday at the French National Assembly when he accused the Minister of the Interior, Claude Guéant, of promoting the ideology that gave birth to the Nazi concentration camps. The attack was in response to an earlier statement by Mr. Guéant that not all civilizations were equal. The speech provoked a massive walkout by conservatives. Argentina will file a formal complaint with the United Nations over Great Britain's claim to the Falkland Islands. Argentine President Cristina Fernandez denounced what she called the militarization of the disputed islands, known in Argentina as the Malvinas. Last week, Great Britain sent an ultra-modern destroyer to the region where large reserves of oil have been discovered. The islands have been in British possession since 1833.
It's now time for the weather report by the Central Forecast Office.
The Gambia is endowed with a wonderful landscape full of baobab trees. Like its Cape Point in Bakau, it is one of the most exotic sceneries in the world. The baobab tree is a symbol of resilience, wisdom, and resourcefulness. For the baobab tree provides good food in times of hunger, rents its bark for medications, and its sap for glue. In the Gambia, there is a company like the baobab tree, 100% African and purely Gambian in all aspects, in know-how, design, value, capital, and management. That company is Elton. Elton, employing hundreds of Gambians and proudly associating itself with development in the Gambia. Elton, side by side with the Gambia.